I am Varshat, your host at Madman Mavericks, sponsored by Orion Consulting, a global leader in SAP and digital transformation services. With an obsession of all things sales, I founded Madman to shake things up, where we close more deals with ROI focused lead acquisition. Welcome to this episode, innovators behind India's number one kitchen brand, Stovecraft, which has a diversified business divided into Pigeon, of which pressure cookers we've all heard and used, the Pigeon LEDs in lightings, there's Black Plus Decor for consumer needs, and Gilma for new age home. Now, Stovecraft has a product portfolio of more than 600, and it employs more than 3,700 employees, having more than 61,000 dealers spread across India. We have a global presence in 12 plus countries. Today, we have the honor of hosting Navin, technology leader with over 30 years of experience in driving digital transformation across diverse sectors, including FMCG, telecom, and healthcare. Navin was working as CTO at Stovecraft, where he leads companies' technology, vision, and strategy. Navin, please feel free to tell us a little bit about yourself before we kick this off.
Thank you, Varshit. Thank you for hosting me here. And it's been a pleasure. It means I think I'm doing this podcast as such after a long, long time. The last I did during COVID. And it feels very excited to talk about journey, talk about digital transformation and how things are changing across the world as we speak. And I'm sure we'll have a good, healthy conversation today.
Super
And
excited to have you, Naveen. All right, let's kick this off with our first set of questions. I mean, what
okay.
does digital transformation mean to your organization, and how has it evolved over the last few decades from time when you were in Hindustan Liver to today at Stovecraft?
Yeah. So digital transformation actually is a much abused word, if I may say. And when
Yeah,
I started my career in Unilever way back in 1993, at that time we were excited just to hear that we'll be able to send a mail through a computer. That was
yeah,
the exciting part. Oh, mail will go. That was the thing, and it will reach. They said it will reach in 2 hours. 2 hours will reach. So that was transformation for us. That is the
yeah,
transformation you keep hearing. Now,
yes,
over age period, now you see if you are sending a small Instagram message, it reaches the whole world in no second, right? So, but from business point of view, digital transformation is something where you say that how do you harness the technology to create a more agile and more connected environment or more environment where people are able to complete their work in lesser
correct.
time and more efficiently. So earlier, if you are doing maybe, if you say that digital transformation, if you have to cr- produce a product, store it into warehouse, then send it to the mother warehouse, load it into the truck, and then make sure that all loading is proper, then write the invoice manually, and then do the math, do the addition, add the taxes, and then take 3 copies with the carbon paper and
Yeah,
then take the first 2 copies and give it to the truck driver and say, Keep this first and second copy properly.
mm,
And here is the invoice note, which says the VAT and mod VAT and excise duty and all that. It used to take ages, right?
right,
Somebody has to create a register, then make sure the production entry is mentioned there, then separate register is maintained at the warehouse, third register is maintained at the dispatch, and never the twain shall meet. They will not talk to each other. So at
correct.
the end of the day, if you want to audit how much was produced, how much was sold, and how much is lying at the warehouse, nobody knows. It was
Huh,
just somebody believes, कि हाँ ठीक चल रहा है सब कुछ.
huh,
So
right,
for me, transformation is that one, you have only one moment of truth, and you exactly know what has happened, what is the current situation. People say कि we will use blockchain, we will use RPA, we will use QR code scanning. My
yeah,
question is, and I keep asking when I sit in the boardroom, what problem you are going to solve? If you are
right,
saying it's just a fad which you want to do, then we have many technologies available. But if you say, Naveen, I want to solve a problem, which I just
yeah,
mentioned, I don't know how much I have produced and how much I have sold, and whether I have used FIFO logic or have not used FIFO logic at the time of dispatch. Have I ensured the person who is actually loading the material is using the old one and not the current one, which has just been produced and sent to him? You know. So
correct.
then, if that is the problem statement, then I can say we can do digital transformation on that one. Otherwise, digital transformation per se in out of the 10 organization, I would say 3 organizations they fail to transform because they have not defined their problem statement rightly.
That's a great insight, and it makes so much sense. If I am out there trying to learn something new, I just not buy a course on, every platform available. I
Yeah,
rather just try to build and, try to learn it by doing some projects or something. So, identification of the problem, I think it is relevant in all aspects of life, and
correct.
most important over here when you're sitting in a room where you're taking decisions in terms of how a company should be running. So, which leads me to my next question.
Mm.
Can you share a specific example of digital transformation initiative that you're most proud of and has significantly impacted your business?
Okay, in Stovecraft, I'll give an example. Then I'll give an example of one more which I did in Idea Cellular around 7, 8 years back. So in
Yeah.
Stovecraft, we had one problem statement of we had using SAP S for HANA.
Okay.
It was implemented some 4 years back, but we are not able to harness the power of SAP. We are
Okay.
using it. Everybody says, "हाँ SAP चल रहा है, SAP में कर रहे हैं." But there are many nuances of the system which are available for use, but people are not using it because one, the training has not been done properly. Two, the problem statement at the time of implementation was not given properly. So the vendor will come, he will implement something based on the standard, and he will say, "Yes, ऐसे button दबाओ, ऐसे button दबाओ," and go home. And his
Yeah.
work is done. You are still struggling. You are still struggling with the number of invoices which are coming to you. You are still struggling with the number of purchase order which are have to be entered manually into the system. You are still struggling with your P&L. You are still struggling with your cost. You are still struggling with not able to figure out what is the cost of poor quality. You are
Right.
still struggling with how much consumption has happened at the shop floor level. Are you over consuming, under consuming? Those information are not readily available. So I said, Ki, let us do a transformation project, and we called it as a PPT project.
Okay.
And but I have now left the organization, like you know. But at that time when we did it, it was people, process, and technology. How do we imbibe these three together, and then say we'll do a digital transformation around that? So idea
Right.
was to do a user interview, ask him, okay, so if what are you doing, sir? I'm in purchase department. Okay,
Yeah.
so how do you manage your day? You sit with him, do a process mapping of, okay, I start
Mm.
my day, I log into the computer, I do this, I do this. Then you will go to the production guy. How do you manage? And then he will say, sir, in SAP I face this problem, SAP I face that problem. My
Mm.
cost is not coming in SAP properly. I'm not able to figure out what is my overconsumption. I have got some semi-finished goods which are coming from other plant. They don't give it to me in time. Because of that, my MRP run is impacted. I need
Mm.
100, but he makes only 80 because he says he doesn't have proper manpower available. So those
Right.
issues will come into the fore. So now you're saying how an end-to-end process at the factory level can be transformed together. And then because you know what are the pain points which are there on an existing system for which you're already spending crores of rupees, right? So I
Right.
did that exercise and we called Deloitte. I said, I will need your help. So
Okay.
Deloitte came with us and we worked together on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a good thing that, instead of CFO, CTO was leading this project.
Got
And
it.
otherwise, CFO says he feels okay, only finance process has to be correct. I said, no,
Huh.
we have to correct everything. We have to correct
Right.
P2P, we have to go R2R, we have to correct everything and make sure that at the end of the day, you just make consolidation of your accounts and everything happens automatically into the system. So then they agreed
Amazing.
and we did that project. It was for 6 months we did this project and everybody was surprised with the outcome. There's some
Yeah.
270 suggestions which came in,
Huh.
and there are some 80 suggestions on basic SAP implementation itself. How you have not
Crazy.
configured it properly, how you have given wrong rights to a person, how a person is able to modify the cost, how a person is able to do these things which are not allowed to be done. So
Right.
it was a big project which we did, and I'm very happy that it was concluded and we were able to see the light of the day.
Right.
One other project which I did, which was at that time big transformational project, was a project Unify, which I did in Unilever, and it was much ahead of its time. And we did some projects in Unilever which were actually much ahead of its time. So this was what, at that time, we were 30,000 crore. We had 2.5 lakh retailers and 35,000 distributors in HUL across
Okay.
the country, and everybody was using his own billing system. So
Nam. Huh.
because they say, sir, it's my business. I will run. I will use Tally. I will use Botry. I will use this. I will use that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody's using it now. Chairman gave us one line brief. I want to know if we have sold one soap yesterday. I want to get that data. One line.
Yeah,
How will you get it? I don't know. So then we all sat together and then figure out if we have to do that, we'll have to put a billing system across all the 35,000 distributors.
correct.
Easily said than done, right? And at that time where web was not available, it was I'm talking about 2003. 2003 we did that project,
Got
and
it. Uh-huh.
we put a at each laptop, at each computer of the distributor, we put our own system called Project Unify. It had a central server through which the sync would happen through GoDB in the night. So all the invoices will come in automatically, all the promotions will come in automatically, and his bills which he has done today will flow back into the central server in the night. So next day morning when he sees the truck comes from company, that invoice is already present in his laptop. All he has to do is select the quantity and everything is
Yeah,
matching, say confirmed and received. The primary for him is already come in. Secondary
right.
will come through the handheld terminal which we gave to the retailer point boys. So he goes to the market, he enters that in the handheld terminal.
Uh-huh.
So, okay, how many units of Lux 6 de do? Sunsilk
Hmm.
shampoo, how much? 3. Life by how much? 4. So life by
Uh-huh.
if you take 6, there's an offer. That
Hmm.
system prompts to him. There's
Right.
an offer on life, but okay, okay, offer है तो
हाँ,
दे दो फिर 6 दे दो. Like that it
हाँ,
prompts. सर आपका कल का 355 रुपया ड्यू है, ओके कैश ले लो. So
ठीक है.
the whole thing which it does at the retail point is now fully
हाँ,
automated, and it prompts the user that you have to collect the money, you have to talk about promotion, you have to talk about some new launches which are coming up, and all that is there readily available. So any new guy comes in, he is just trained in one day, and then he is
yeah,
off into the market. You come back to the office, connect your pumped up to the central server, secondary sales is done. You don't have to do
right.
anything. And then next day, the dispatch will happen automatically through the system. So this whole integrated Jing Bang we did, and I think that was one of the biggest project which we did in Unilever, and
Got it.
we got an award also for that one. So that I would say is one
Amazing,
of the big things
amazing.
which we did. Yeah.
So that's great.
Mm.
And I think, this, would you highlight this as one of the most common problems that almost all companies face?
Yes, and still they are facing.
Right,
The point is,
exactly.
in levers we could arm twist people because when we have a distributor, the levers distributors portfolio is 70 to 80% is company products. So he doesn't do
Yeah,
anything else other than levers. So we could arm twist them. But if you are a small company, then getting secondary sales is big difficult, big difficult. But
right.
that's a big
Makes sense.
transformation for us. We were able to capture secondary sales. Means like every night we know how much we have sold yesterday. Just imagine due to this how much working capital we saved. And
Correct.
we now
And
know that Lux is
hmm,
selling more in Delhi and less in Chennai, or
right.
vice versa. That information we have available at the secondary level.
Exactly, which is a
Mm.
win-win for everyone. You at the
Everyone, yes.
company level, and your distributors, how easy it becomes for them
Easy
to
people.
efficiently manage the
Correct.
whole process
Yes.
and have
Yes.
visibility for themselves.
Mm. And retailer, he knows how much promotion he's supposed to get and actually gets it.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
that was the advantage.
That's great. That's great. Now, Naveen, would you tell us a little bit about your early career and
Hmm.
key decisions that shaped your path to becoming a CIO and a CTO?
Okay, you have heard that story that a donkey fell into the well and people were trying to pick him up. And
I'd love to hear it.
so the donkey fell into the well. And people saw that the donkeys fell into the well. What to do? What to do? They tried to lift through a rope. Rope will break, and they tried to send somebody to push him. They were
Yeah.
not able to do because he's heavy. Then they said, "We can't let him be there. Let us throw the mud inside and let's close the well." Now they started throwing the mud on top of the donkey.
Hmm.
Now donkey is being a donkey. He didn't realize that they are throwing the mud to close the well. He
Yeah.
thought they are throwing the mud so that he can come up. So when the mud
Ah.
will fall, he will just shake it off, and he is now 6 inches higher. Then again mud
Ah.
will come, he'll shake it off, and again he's 6 inches higher. And in no time the donkey is out of the well. Now
Yeah,
the problem
crazy.
is you don't listen to others, you make your own decisions. So
Yeah.
when I got my first job, I was in Calcutta, very happy, and Lever's interview happened, and they said, "Okay, we'll take you, but you'll have to go to a remote place in West Bengal called Siliguri."
Okay.
And everybody said, "Hey, are you mad? Why you
Huh.
want to go to Siliguri? Be in Calcutta. You'll get another job in Calcutta." But I never listened. My parents said, "No, no, Naveen, you should go. It's a good opportunity." But all my friends, everybody said, "Don't go to Siliguri. It's a small place near Darjeeling. You know how you'll survive there. You've always
Uh,
lived in big cities and all that." But I never listened. I went there.
Ah,
And and that was, the best part is when you start your career from a greenfield location, because it's a greenfield
yeah,
location to the factory which was being set up, you understand about how businesses work, how a factory comes up right in front of your eyes, how
right,
uh, controls are set up into the company, how you make sure that there are no leakages. Those things got imbibed into me, and how you have to behave in a ethical manner, and how
right,
you have your integrity in a place where nobody is seeing you. Nobody knows what you are doing, right? So in some place in Siliguri, being Hindustan, a big company, a small factory is being set up. How you behave at that time, so that you leave a legacy behind. All that
correct.
things I learned early in my career. I set up with my own hands a VSAT dish. I set up with my own hands an MFG Pro server on Deck Alpha. I set up
Yes,
with my own hand all the PCs, and I used to do the connectivity. I used to do the crimping. All that I did myself, and set up the LAN and go to the factory.
yeah,
How you use the consumption, every warehouse, even tank farm. That all I set up manually on my own. So these things you learn when you have those type of experience in life. And then after four
yeah.
years, they said, Naveen, you have done a big transformation in this factory. Will you be able to go to Tatapuram? I said, where is Tatapuram? They said, in a place in Kerala called Cochin. Then I said, where is Cochin? I've
Ah,
never been to Cochin. I didn't even know that there's a place called Cochin, to be very frank.
yeah,
So then गूगल तो था नहीं उस समय, कुछ कहीं गूगल करके देख लो.
ah.
तो फिर मैंने बोला कहाँ है, कितना दूर है? बोले बहुत दूर है. So I and then the same thing. Are you mad? Why you want to go to Cochin? It's a big language barrier. तुमको तो खाना भी नहीं मिलेगा वहां पे, तो कोकोनट ऑयल
Ah,
होता है. They eat only idli dosa. But I said no, I'll go. And
crazy.
these are the decisions which I have taken in my life. And I went there, and believe you me, that was the best stint, because whatever I have learned earlier, I could just copy paste it here. It's an
Great.
old factory
Um,
of Tata's, which Hindustan Lever had purchased, and I
okay.
was IT head for transformation of a company in Unilever with only 4 years of experience
Crazy.
in my belt. And they said, "Ki, how will manage?" I'll manage. And I actually did manage, and within 3 years, the whole company was transformed. Everybody was using MFG Pro ERP, everybody was using email, everybody was having Lotus training and Word Perfect, and everything they were using in 3 years flat. And then they said, Naveen, we have purchased modern foods. Will you go to modern foods? So my wife stood up. No, 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 modern foods कौन जाएगा? Modern food नहीं जाना. So again, I
Ah,
shook up the dust and took modern food stint as well. So in my life, I have always taken a decision where everything is grey. कुछ दिख नहीं रहा है क्या होगा, but take a
ah,
leap of faith and jump. So
right.
after 13 years, I did 5 stints in Unilever in 5 different locations. And by the way, I have lived since birth. I have lived in some 17 cities across the country since my birth. So I can
Crazy.
speak 5 languages as well.
Oh,
So,
damn. Okay. What are
so
what are the five languages you can speak?
English, Hindi, Bengali, Malayalam, and my own Marwadi, which is my mother tongue. So
Super, super,
the
super.
5 languages I can speak, and now Marathi little bit. In Bombay, Marathi इतना ज़्यादा नहीं चलता है, but ठीक. So
Super.
when I left Unilever, people were again saying, "Hey, are you mad? Why you want to leave company like Unilever? And you have made a place for yourself. You have taken so much promotion. You have reached that level." But I said, now at that time, telecom was coming up. So I said, I want to learn telecom. And they
Yeah.
said, but you don't know T of telecom. But to be fair, those guys, they took a punt on
Uh,
me. The Idea
yeah.
Cellular guys, they took a punt on me, say, "Ki, Naveen, you come up. We will give you the prepaid vertical. You lead the prepaid vertical for us." And they were also just
Got it.
coming up. They had, Birla ji has just taken 100% stake. Tata's had gone out of Idea Cellular.
Yeah.
They were struggling. There were only three circle operations. And I realized that this is a big opportunity to join a company which is growing, which has
Right.
a potential to do something, and we can come and join at a point where there's a influx happening. So
Right.
that I realized. So I joined at that time some three circle, 10 million subscribers. In 10 years, we did the full business transformation for them. And when I left, they had 160 million subscribers and 22 circle operations. So I have seen the
Amazing.
whole trajectory of the company from bottom to top. And very
Amazing.
few guys are able to do that. I would say I'm
Yes.
very thankful to God that I did this transformation for them. And we did everything for them, like, how a number gets chosen. So I
Yeah.
put a number management system for that. And same thing which I mentioned in the early beginning, early of this podcast. What problem you are trying to solve? If
Right.
you have that question answered, then the whole transformation journey is smooth. So I asked, what is the biggest problem, sir? When you go to the market, suppose you want a number which is 77777, five sevens you want.
Yeah.
So getting that number at that time was a pain in the ass, big pain,
Oh,
because the guy who's sitting in front of you, he doesn't know first of all whether number is available or not available. तो आपने
yes.
बोला I want this number, so he will go back to his office. He talk to somebody.
Um,
He will search in the whole number system. He will search. It will take ages to just search one number.
right.
Then he will find one number. Maybe starting में है, बीच में है या end में है, he doesn't know. तो एक नंबर देगा उसके बीच में है सपोज, तो वापस
Right.
आएगा आपके पास, बोलेगा सर वो है 9707777 035, ये नहीं चाहिए, आई वांट इट ऑल इन द एंड. Again he will go, the whole
Crazy.
thing. By
हाँ.
the time you are lost interest, बोला नहीं चाहिए यार छोड़ दो, I'll go to somebody else.
हाँ, कुछ
So
भी दे
what I
दो.
did, I empowered that guy sitting in front of you. He will search for that number string. So he will write star star star
Right.
whatever 7777 star star, like that he will write, and then system will throw him all the numbers which are available with the price.
Makes
He
sense.
says book
Amazing.
now. He will say book now. Yes, book now. पैसा आपसे ले लेगा, book करके रखेगा, 3 दिन में activation हो जाएगा, आपको SIM आ जाएगा. Now
Very
what
nice.
we have done is we have just solved the problem of how to search for a number and activate a number. Like
Correct.
that, I did everything for them on recharge, on schemes, on promotions, and
Got it.
on dealer management. So the whole journey was there like that. So my career has always been on how I transform businesses looking from IT's point of view.
Right.
So that would be in one line if you say that has been my trajectory all across. So when I left Idea Cellular, I joined Pfizer, and they
Yes.
said, Ki, you have no knowledge of pharma. I said, okay, we'll figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I look back, and when I write on my resume, and I feel very blessed. Ki I have foods experience, I have bakery
Yes.
experience, I have FMCG experience, I have telecom experience, I have pharma experience, I have manufacturing experience. So I have
Right.
become a more rounded personality from that point of view. Maybe I can start
That's
my own
great.
business now.
Would you say changing from one industry, one vertical to another is the most challenging decision you would have to make? Or is it something else? The most challenging decision and what was the outcome?
So I would say it is more exciting. You
Okay.
feel एक नया कुछ देखते हैं तो कई बोलते हैं यार पता नहीं क्या होगा. मुझे लगता
हाँ.
है यार कुछ नया आ रहा है, मजा आएगा. I get that kick out of it. And being an Aries,
Yes.
I actually have this kick कि something new is happening. People tell me ये तो कुछ भी खा लेता है. मैं कहा मुझे अच्छा लगता है. कोई नया चीज आया तो खा के देखते ना कैसा है. you know
Nice.
कि हाँ,
Nice.
कई लोग भिंडी नहीं खाते, मतलब मैं खा लेता हूँ कि क्या फर्क पड़ता है,
हाँ.
देखते हैं ना क्या है. So I had that inquisitiveness and that habit to figure out what news there. So when I joined pharma, believe me, I had no knowledge. I didn't
Right.
even know how these guys meet the doctors. But what I did, and that's what Levers told me, कि if you want to learn something, be him. So I
Okay.
set one of the medical representatives and I said कि I want to do one day visit to all the doctors with you. तो
Okay.
बोला सर मेरे पास तो गाड़ी नहीं है. मैंने कहा वेरी गुड, मैं तेरी बाइक में ही जाऊंगा. तो आई टुक अ हेलमेट एंड सैट
हाँ.
विद हिम एंड आई जस्ट शैडोड हिम. वो बेचारा 1 घंटा इस
Yes.
डॉक्टर के पास बैठा है, आधा घंटा उस डॉक्टर के पास बैठा है. बड़ी मुश्किल से 3 बजे लंच करा उसने, फिर ना 8 बजे तक डॉक्टर के बिना मुझे बैठा है. सर बोला आप चले जाओ मैं देख रहा हूँ. नहीं, मैं वांट टू सिट विद यू. देन उसके बाद जब काम खत्म होता है वो हाथ से लिख रहा है सारा. उसके बाद अपना रिपोर्ट बॉस को भेज रहा है. 9 बजे
Yeah.
बेचारे का काम खत्म होता है. एंड आई एम्पैथाइज विद हिम यार, लुक दिस इज हाउ ही इज वर्किंग, हाउ वी कैन सॉल्व हिज प्रॉब्लम. फिर एग्जिस्टिंग एक सिस्टम था तो चलता नहीं था. बोलता सर ये चलता नहीं है, डॉक्टर के पास जाते वहीं बैठ जाता है, हमारे पास कोई स्क्रीन
हाँ.
नहीं है, हम पेपर से दिखाते हैं. ऑल दैट दे वर टॉकिंग अबाउट. And then I went back, and now I know the problem statement, right? Then I went
Right.
back and talked to the Pfizer guys. Ki you have to get a good CRM for them, and they said, okay, we have CRM, take it. Viva, Viva
Right.
is on SFDC Salesforce.com platform, so take Viva. So I told MD, ki, let's take Viva and we'll stop this one. Then he said, where's the money? You will have the budget, right? He said, no,
Right.
I don't have the budget. I will not give you. So then
हाँ.
I was sitting in my pants, what to do. So, but the problem is that when you know that you have to get it done, then you find out avenues as well. So I talked to Viva
Right.
guys. I asked them to reduce the prices because they were given a dollar price. Pfizer Inc. gave them dollar price, which was very high. Then I
Okay.
told the guys, I met the MD here, give me a dollar price, no, give me rupee price. Then I told Pfizer
Yeah.
guys, give me some budget from your central thing. We have to do it for India. This product is failing. The country will go to dogs and all that. I told, make the story. And then I got some
Yeah.
money from center, I got some money from the region, and then we implemented the whole project. And it is different for me from the point of view that I didn't know how pharma works, but I actually know how that guy in the field works. And
Correct.
that's what we have to solve the problem for. He is the main guy
Correct.
for us. उसकी problem solve हो जाएगी, बाकी सब अपने आप set हो जाएगा. And that's exactly happened.
Right. Makes sense.
And
And
hmm,
that's an
so
amazing approach to look at problems. And, when you're
yes, and
solving
then
them, we
solve.
should have a problem written in front of us very
Correct.
clearly.
Otherwise, you can make a beautiful BRS statement and beautiful presentation sitting in boardroom and then
Yes.
पता नहीं क्यों नहीं चल रहा है हमने तो बहुत अच्छा बनाया था पता नहीं लोगों ने use क्यों नहीं किया and I have seen
Uh,
such failures as well लोगों ने use नहीं किया and it failed so but that's a different story.
Correct. All right. Now let's jump into different functions of how a business
Hmm.
runs.
Okay.
And the first function I'd like to delve into is data and analytics with you. Now, how do you think organizations leverage data and analytics to drive decision making in the first place?
Most of the organization don't know the difference between data analytics and MIS.
Okay.
उनको वही चाहिए एक MIS आ जाएगा एक्सेल में डैशबोर्ड होगा कुछ
Huh.
दिखेगा 50 लाइन ऊपर 50 लाइन नीचे and
Huh.
nobody can make sense out of it. Correct. So
Yes.
I told, and I went to, and wherever I do data analytics, I went to the MD and say, कि आपको क्या देखना है? सुबह
Huh.
सुबह 9 बजे, when you start your day, what you want to see? Do you want to see the whole jing bang of कहाँ कितनी सेल हुई, or you want to see कहाँ नहीं हो रही? जहाँ पे
Right.
आपको एक्शन लेना है, जहाँ पे आपको टॉर्च मार के देखना है कि यहाँ क्यों नहीं हो रही. उसके बाद
Right.
आप उसको धीरे धीरे खोलो और देखो क्यों नहीं हो रही, क्यों नहीं हो रही, क्यों नहीं हो रही. Why? 5 times you ask why, and you get your answer. How do you want to do it? He said, Navin, that's what exactly I want. But these guys send me 20 reports every day. My WhatsApp is full, my email is full. And you just
Huh.
imagine, MD of the company, everybody thinks कि सर को डेटा भेज दिया अपना काम खत्म.
Huh.
Everybody said WhatsApp कर दिया, स्क्रीनशॉट भेज दिया,
Huh.
किसी ने 15 मेल भेज दी. What you are doing, guys? It is not helping him. How will you
Right.
make sure that he is able to attack only the problem where he is needed? Otherwise, everything else is junk for him. Don't send him junk. Don't spam him. So I created,
Nice.
after I did Viva in Pfizer, I created an artist platform on Data Lake, and Accenture helped us on that one.
Got
Same
it.
problem statement. Which are the 5 top KPIs I want MD to see? Which are the 5 KPIs I want sales head to see, CFO to see, and keep drilling down right up to the last guy in the field. For him, top KPIs are biggest KPI. You know what is this biggest KPI for him? मेरा incentive आया कि नहीं
Ah.
आया?
Correct. Correct.
उसको
Correct.
और कुछ नहीं चाहिए. उसको
Correct.
इंसेंटिव दिखा दिया ना. He was
Huh.
floored. वो मेरा फैन हो गया. बोला सर मेरा
Huh.
इंसेंटिव दिख जाता है मेरे को. I'm very happy. Now he is working. उसको दिख
Right.
रहा है कि 30 तारीख आने वाली है, इंसेंटिव 80% ही
हाँ,
हुआ है, 4 दिन बचे, वो जी जान लगाएगा
सही
क्योंकि उसको
बात है।
दिख रहा है कि यार ये 4 दिन हो जाएगा तो अपने 4,000 एक्स्ट्रा आ जाएंगे. नाउ
हाँ,
इमेजिन आई हैव नॉट डन एनीथिंग बट दिस गाइज ऑलरेडी मोटिवेटेड
हाँ,
बिकॉज ही नोज कि मेरे को क्या करना है. नोबडी नीड्स टू टेल हिम. नहीं तो बॉस उसके बयान में आता रहेगा ये क्यों नहीं किया वो क्यों नहीं किया. उसको पता ही नहीं, बताने की जरूरत नहीं है.
हाँ,
Everybody is now happy. MD is happy that he gets his 5 KPIs on which he needs to action. Then he'll
राइट,
call his sales head and oncology and say, hey, in oncology, I see this degrowth happen in last 7 days. On year
राइट,
to year, this is what is happening. And this guy is डर गया. वो बोला सर आपको इतना कैसे पता चल गया.
हाँ,
है ना.
राइट,
So and then I said if you are doing reviews, you just connect your iPad and present your screen to
राइट,
your sales team and show to them. Otherwise, they will say नहीं सर डेटा गलत है. And I
करेक्ट,
said you come out of this point कि डेटा गलत है, डेटा सही है और यही डेटा है. आप इस पे
राइट,
बात करो. गलत होगा तो हम देख लेंगे बाद में. अभी तो आप इस पे बात करो. That's
हुँ,
a huge change, huge transformation that way. That you are talking, everybody talking on single data, single source of truth, no Excel required. I told I will not allow you to download the data in Excel. Whatever you need, you tell me, I'll give it to you there.
मेक सेंस,
Big halla, big change. People don't know resistance to change is one of the biggest things which you have to do if you are doing transformation. How you handle
करेक्ट,
the resistance to change. अपने को खुद को लगता है आपका टीवी का रिमोट लेफ्ट से राइट बटन दबाना पड़ता है, वो टेंशन होती है अरे क्या बटन नहीं दब रहा
हाँ,
मुझसे ना.
राइट,
This is human nature, right? People
राइट,
want to do. I sit on the back seat left side of the car. If I have to sit on right side, I become fidgety. I've seen
करेक्ट,
people doing that, right? तो
दैट्स
वो
राइट, हाँ,
so वैसा किया. So I think that's the biggest thing. On analytics, I think you have to stop doing MIS and only do top KPIs which are going to affect you. That's all
मेक
you should do.
सेंस।
Nothing else. Nothing else.
Then is there a precedent set for every stakeholder? Like for this
Hmm.
position, these will be the KPIs, this position, these will be the KPIs, or is it flexible according to what a person wants to see, like personalized for everyone?
Role based. It's always role
Okay,
based.
got it.
What role you are doing, for that role, company has standardized 5 KPIs which are available. You want to drill down, you want to do more, I allow you to do it. I'm not stopping it.
Got it.
But these are the 5 you have to do. उसके बाद
Okay.
आपको दो और चाहिए, आई गिव इट यू से सर नहीं सर नवीन मेरे को ये भी चाहिए यार, ये बना के दूंगा, बना के दूंगा, नॉट सर ही इज
Hmm.
डूइंग मोर, दैट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम। बट
Right.
ये फाइव आपको करना है बिकॉज दैट्स द कंपनीज मैंडेट। टुमारो आई गो,
Correct.
somebody else comes, he sees the same dashboard, right?
Right.
So
It
there's
also
always a
maintains
continuity
the
maintained. Hmm.
right uniformity भी maintain होती है.
Exactly, exactly.
Right. Makes sense.
Hmm.
Which leads me to my next question.
Hmm.
What are the key challenges in managing and integrating data across your organization?
Like I said, single source of truth.
Right.
In a SAP system, Bicosul has a product code of XYZ.
Okay.
In another CRM system, Bicosul has another code. IQVR, which integrates the data from my distributors, they have given their own code, Bicosul 125. You know,
Ah,
now I have got secondary sales coming from IQVR, which has Bicosul has a different code. I have got
right.
my SAP, which has a Bicosul has a different code. And how you will merge the data? How you will make sure that this Bicosul is the same as that Bicosul? In
Right.
all data analytics, in all data science projects, this is one pain point where everybody struggles.
Right.
Because I can't figure out, no, how will you tell the computer, yeah, it was same. Hai?"
Right.
How will you tell him? You know,
No, makes sense.
and that's the biggest challenge. And then the challenge is, like I said, how you harness that information to figure out ki what is wrong. गलत क्या
Right.
हो रहा है वो पकड़ना बहुत डिफिकल्ट है बिकॉज ह्यूमन ब्रेन एंड नाउ इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ दिस सो मच इन्फ्लक्स ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी वी वांट एवरीथिंग इंस्टेंटली वी वांट नूडल्स इन
Correct.
2 minutes वी वांट डेटा टू कम आउट इन सेकेंड्स बट आई डोंट वांट टू स्ट्रगल फॉर इट आई डोंट वांट टू सिट एंड फिगर आउट कि उसमें क्या गलत हो रहा है उसको थोड़ा और डिटेल में एनालिसिस करें थोड़ा उसको चर्न करें नो
Right. Makes sense.
वो लोगों का थोड़ा पेशेंस लेवल और एट द हायर लेवल एंड आई मिड से मे बी समटाइम्स आई आल्सो डू दैट वो
हाँ,
थोड़ा कम होता जा रहा है कि इस डेटा
got
को
it.
देख के मेक हाउ टू मेक सेंस आउट ऑफ इट हाउ टू डू समुद्र मंथन एंड टेक आउट दैट पॉइजन आउट I think that's the
हाँ,
biggest problem with people are facing in data analytics. Oh, you're talking big data, you're talking Hadoop, you're talking of generative AI. अब generative AI का problem है ना, you ask, I did and recently I did that.
हाँ,
Chat GPT को मैंने पूछा, which is bigger, 9.9 or 9.13?
okay.
Chat GPT 9.13. I said no, but it is
Mm,
9.9 is bigger. No,
correct.
9.13 is bigger. इसमें सेकंड डिजिट पे जीरो है, इसमें सेकंड डिजिट पे थ्री है. थ्री इज बिगर देन जीरो. 9.13 is
Ah,
bigger.
I hope this problem is fixed by now.
So I fixed it. So I
हाँ,
explained to him, and that's the best. I wanted to know whether it can learn. So I
हाँ,
gave them the basic mathematics.
हाँ,
9.9 is actually 9.90.
हाँ,
9.13. So zero में से three नहीं जाएगा, तो you borrow one and make it 10. Like that, I
right.
wrote the whole statement, and surprisingly, it understood. And
हाँ,
next time when I asked again, it
amazing.
actually said that 9.9 is bigger than
हाँ,
9.13. So, but the problem is there in generative AI and any computer system, it can never replace human intelligence. That somebody will have to
right,
spend time and figure out and then make sure that it is correct or what is ailing the system. Your own sales system, you will know better, right?
correct.
Nobody else can tell you कि यार ना तुम्हारा दिल्ली की सेल तो ठीक है पर मुजफ्फरनगर की सेल खराब है वहां जाके किसी को मैजिक से एक पिल खिला दो तो सेल हो जाएगी ऐसा नहीं होता
हाँ,
you will have to burn that midnight oil to figure out what is happening in Muzaffarnagar. That no system will tell you. For that, you'll have to actually go to Muzaffarnagar and figure out.
that's right. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. All right, it's time for us to jump into the next function
Yeah.
of the business,
Hmm.
which is customer experience and innovation. How is your organization leveraging technology to enhance customer experiences? And because you have had that experience of working in different sectors, if you could take some examples, that'd be great.
Hmm. So customer experience, I'll tell you, and telecom, I think, is the biggest player in customer experience as of now because
हाँ,
30 रुपए कट गए वो बंदा आधा घंटे तक बैठा रहेगा मेरे 30 रुपए क्यों कट
बिल्कुल,
गए यू नो
बिल्कुल,
दैट
बिल्कुल।
वन रियलाइज कि यार वो 30 रुपए के लिए आधा घंटा बैठा है 6 rupees per minute is the cost of holding him right because that's a
हाँ,
network cost you have to bear him
correct,
so if he calls and you say press one if you're calling to know about the recent deduction in your account.
right,
So he will press one, and then this
right.
message will go to somebody in backend. He will revert his 30 rupees and close the call.
हाँ,
So that and that's the best thing which we did in telecom at that time. You are saving so much people holding on to your network and choking it just for 30 bucks.
right,
उसका कट गया नहीं कट गया देखेंगे यार उसको भी रिफंड कर दो दे दो 30 रुपए दे दो
हाँ,
इट्स इजियर फॉर यू अदरवाइज ही विल कीप फाइटिंग विद यू एंड कस्टमर
right.
एक्सपीरियंस zooms up ही सो हैप्पी यार, उसको पता था कि मेरी प्रॉब्लम क्या थी और
हाँ
मेरा कॉल करते आ गया, मुझे होल्ड भी नहीं करना पड़ा,
हाँ
सो बोथ आर हैप्पी. So I think customer experience is that you have to wear his shoes and walk, and then you talk about customers. People say, we are a customer-centric organization, all that,
yes
but you don't walk the talk. In Unilever, I learned that customer experience, that, and all our bosses used to say, Naveen, between you and me, customer, if I have to choose somebody, I'll choose customer because customer is always right.
right
If you have that mindset and you walk the talk, then I think all CX and all those CRMs which you make in the world will come in place automatically. Otherwise, people just give lip service and keep saying, you are important to us and make you hold for
हाँ
45 minutes. That will not fly. Customer knows. He knows what is happening and, he's always right. He will never call. Why would you call if you have no problem?
correct
Like, you have a problem, that's why you're calling. You're calling for
that's
network,
right
you're calling for money which you are deducted, you're calling for bill error. Those things he
right
will call because he's suffering.
right
So we used to say customer is somebody जो कष्ट से मर जाए वो customer type.
हाँ
So that's what is there. But CX is, and small thing I did in Stovecart, we did कि वो customer warranty registration he has to do. तो
हाँ
वारंटी रजिस्ट्रेशन एक कार्ड है, उसमें वो लिख के वो पोस्ट करो या डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर को दे दो. डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर के पास 150 कार्ड आते हो, भेजा नहीं भेजा, हु केयर्स, सो.
हाँ
एंड व्हेन प्रोडक्ट गोज रॉन्ग देन ही विल से कि मैं तो वारंटी में है. हम बोले नहीं, वारंटी का तो डिटेल
हम्म,
नहीं आया. नहीं नहीं, मैंने यहाँ से खरीदा. ठीक है, इनवॉइस कॉपी भेजो. वो कोई इनवॉइस कॉपी भेजेगा. आधा दिन 2-3 दिन तो इसी में निकल गए. प्रॉब्लम अभी तक सॉल्व नहीं
बिल्कुल
हुई उसकी, मिक्सी अभी नहीं चल रही उसकी.
बिल्कुल
सो आई सेड ओके, गिव ए क्यूआर कोड card to him. Welcome to Pigeon.
okay
Thank you very much for purchasing this product. Just scan this QR code, an app will download, and you can register your product automatically on your own. If something
हाँ
goes wrong, register a complaint on the app itself, and you are done. He's so
right
happy. Now he is doing the work. He need not call you. वो आपका
correct
वारंटी रजिस्ट्रेशन भी करेगा, कंप्लेन भी करेगा, उसके बेसिस पे हम असाइन भी कर देंगे एजेंट को जो नियरेस्ट एजेंट है. एंड नाउ एवरीबॉडी इज हैप्पी. All you have to do is just figure out the problem statement and enable the whole thing. So enable backfill, QR code में सारी डिटेल्स है, स्कैन करो, आ गया, मिक्सी का रजिस्ट्रेशन हो गया ऑटोमेटिकली.
हाँ
So I think innovation is those small things which you do, which makes life easier for you.
correct
And I really like Philips has the beautiful logo, no, innovation and you. And they talk
correct
about that, and they have been doing it. Philips has
yes
been in the forefront of innovation. Tesla is
हाँ
forefront of innovation. Apple was forefront of innovation. After Steve Jobs, they have reduced. They just change the camera placement nowadays.
hot topic
हाँ, I don't know what they were thinking. तुमने
हाँ
कैमरा का बटन साइड में कर दिया, उसको ऐसे कर सकते हो तो कैमरा
हाँ
who cares? Are you solving some problem? No, no problem you are solving. Just making it
हाँ
look good and you are charging more for that, and people will actually fall for it. I have an
actually
Apple, but I'm happy. But I don't think these small things are innovation. Innovation
correct
has to be path breaking. कुछ अलग करो
right
जिससे कुछ प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो रही है, कुछ बड़ा दिख रहा है, मेरे को कुछ एडवांटेज मिल रहा है. Then I will think as a innovation.
right
Otherwise, Tesla is a big innovation. Otherwise, I don't see any big innovation which has happened in the recent times other than that.
correct and with Apple though we expect more more
More,
than
yeah,
everyone else
exactly. And Steve Jobs used to do that. I'll tell you
हाँ
one more innovation, and I don't know how many people know about this Sony Walkman. You know how
हाँ
Sony Walkman got invented? And then I love to tell stories. My kids get bored when I tell
हाँ
all these
हाँ
stories.
no
So
please
Sony Walkman, Mr. Sony, he said, I want to create a small cassette player which people can carry with
okay
problem statement. So, and at that time, this cassette player used to be so big, right? इतना बड़ा, उसमें speaker है, ये है, button है, सब था. And they brought the first prototype. He put it into the water bucket and said, too
हाँ
many bubbles. That's all
okay
he said. Too many bubbles. And give it back to them. They went again, and then they realized कि what he's trying to do. He's trying to make it compact. तो
right
अगली बार वो गए और उसको कॉम्पैक्ट किया और छोटा किया. Again, he threw in the bucket, too many bubbles. Then they were now thinking innovation कि यार इसमें से स्पीकर निकाल देते, उसका
हाँ
एक इजेक्ट बटन निकाल देते, इजेक्ट ऐसे करके करेंगे, स्पीकर निकाल देते हैं, बैटरी का छोटा कंपार्टमेंट कर देते हैं. All that they did, and then the final prototype which came out was the Sony Walkman, which is such a small product with the
हाँ
headphones and all that stuff. It came out
हाँ
and it was a big hit
right
because you have now solved the problem of people. Now it has a belt clip also. You can connect to your pant and then you can listen. And everybody was doing it. The whole world was doing it, right?
right
So that's the innovation. From that innovation came iPod. iPod
right
was the next generation innovation that you are not limited to the cassette. If you're moving out, you don't have to carry
Correct.
so many cassettes with you, right? It already has all the
Correct.
songs which you want. So I think
Correct.
those are the innovations which we should tell kids that's an innovation. Otherwise, it's not
That's
something big,
interesting
right?
to know. The idea
Mm.
first came to Sony and the Walkman launched before
But yes,
the Apple product that we carried.
yes, that was the original thought. How you can make it
Huh,
sleek and compact.
crazy. Very nice. All right, let's jump
Yeah.
into another function of how things run, which is supply chain and operations. What would be the top challenges that you would highlight in managing the supply chain, and how is technology helping address these challenges?
I'll have to be quick. I think we'll be also running short of time.
Yeah.
Supply chain, I think biggest problem is, like I said in the beginning, how you manage your inventory. You have a raw material inventory, you have a semi-finished inventory, you have finished goods inventory lying everywhere. And I did this project in Sokra by which we call it WMS. It was struggling, and then we completed it. It was very basically you have a pallet. In
Huh.
that pallet, you have got 24 mixers, and then you produce it, you put it into the pallet, and you send to the warehouse. Warehouse guy will have a barcode. He will keep scanning 24 times, and that product will get updated into the system. And I
Right.
said that's not proper. It is not proper. You can't keep scanning so much time. So I created a QR code on a nylon thing, which we put pasted on the pallet. Now, when first time when you're loading, you tell the system, you scan the QR code and tell the system in this pallet, I'm going to load this product.
Right.
And system knows if you're loading this product, 24 will fit into this pallet because this is the size of the pallet.
Yes.
And then he puts those 24 products, scans one time, and he marries. These are 24 barcodes or 24 QR code married to this pallet's QR code. And
Yeah.
every time now when you're doing it, all you have to do is just scan the QR code of the pallet. So when you're sending it from shop floor to warehouse, one scan. Warehouse to loading location, we are going to store it, second scan. And then the system prompts, ki, okay, pick up this pallet lying in bay 3, row 5, with the third scan and load it.
Right.
Now from 24 by 4
Huh.
times of scanning, it has become only 4 scans, right? So
Right.
that's the thing which you talk about as how you are solving the problem in warehouse. I think warehouse the problem is how much you are storing, what is the age of products which you have stored, and how you are dispatching, how you can make it more efficient. So the truck comes to the bay, gets loaded in 5-10 minutes or 15 minutes using the forklift truck, and then gets out immediately because invoice is ready in no time. I think
Right.
how you manage that whole jing bang is, I think, in the supply chain, that's the biggest. And of course, then when you're purchasing, we did that project in levers which was on a JIT. JIT is if you are purchasing something from a supplier, it should come just in time.
Right.
Today you need 100 boxes. You'll tell your supplier, send me 100 boxes. I don't have any space to store. I will
Right.
use 100 boxes. Tomorrow again you give me 150 because tomorrow's demand is 150. And that's how we
Right.
integrated with them. So he was very happy, sir. मेरा भी काम आसान हो गया.
Huh.
We'll give him a monthly plan, we'll give him a weekly plan, we'll give him a daily plan. So
Correct.
based on monthly plan, he will keep his inventory purchase जो करना है कर लेगा. Weekly
Huh.
plan में he will know that this week my manpower strength required will be this much because I have to produce this much. And
Correct.
daily plan is what you have to produce tomorrow.
Correct.
But he knows कि अगर इतना बाकी है तो लास्ट डे में कितना करना है. He knows because I have firmly told him कि इतना तो बनाना है. तो लास्ट डे he knows
Huh.
कि if you are falling short or going ahead, लास्ट डे में इतना कम हो जाएगा. उस हिसाब से he'll call his manpower accordingly. So
Makes
that's
sense.
a huge advantage which you give to a vendor. Now he's
Correct.
not your vendor, he's now your partner. वो खुद फोन करके पूछेगा सर आज कितना प्रोडक्शन हुआ because he
Huh.
knows tomorrow से कितना भेजना है. That's
Huh.
how you empower it. Otherwise I'll keep वहाँ भेजा नहीं कहाँ है मेरा सामान. All that
Huh.
is gone.
Right.
People are already empowered to come to your shop floor and see what is happening. And that's
Correct.
a huge change. And in a place like Siliguri, where I did it, there guy said, मैंने तो जिंदगी में ऐसा नहीं देखा सर
Huh.
कि आप इस तरह करके हमारे साथ empower करके हमारे साथ बैठ के कर रहे हैं. And we used to tell him from our head office guy used to tell him
Uh-huh.
कि which paper to buy, what should be the GSM, what should be the strength, and how
Okay.
you save on your wastage. So now he becomes a partner for life. He'll work for you. And
Right.
whatever savings he is giving, he shared with you. So your cost of purchase also goes down.
Correct.
So those
Correct.
are the things in supply chain. I think you have to look at the whole integrated chain, and
Correct.
the weakest link is where you will fail. To make sure there are no weak links, everybody is working together. You have partners, you have distributors, you have transporters. सबको साथ लेके चलना चाहिए. तभी काम होगा.
Correct. So I think the baseline is be on the floor,
Correct.
experience the problem and then think
Yes.
of a solution when you have the
Yes.
problem map written down.
Exactly. And that's what I've been doing all my life. Therefore, I still
Super.
remember those cases because I've done it myself.
Correct.
So I
No,
remember.
that's crazy. Amazing. Amazing. And
Thank you.
I think we would sum it up by asking you, how do you see the role of CIOs evolving in the next decade?
I think CIOs now they have a place on the board table, and that is which I have
Okay.
seen evolving. पहले आईटी को लोग क्या बोलते थे? आईटी लैपटॉप, प्रिंटर, प्रिंटर खराब हो गया, कौन आईटी को
Right.
बुलाओ, you know?
Huh.
And I keep telling, don't come to me for printers and laptops. I am not your printer laptop. I will not even buy.
Yes.
I don't even know कि क्या होता है
Yes.
तुम्हारा. मैं वो करना ही नहीं है मुझे. मैं करता ही नहीं. मैंने किया ही नहीं.
Huh.
So people are surprised. So I think that's the role which is changing IT is how we can help the businesses grow. And that's the biggest
Right.
challenge, right? अभी क्या बोल सेल्स वालों को ही आप बोलते हैं कि सेल्स वाले बिजनेस ग्रो करते हैं. सेल्स वालों को आप कैसे अनेबल करोगे, कैसे उनको एम्पावर करोगे कि बिजनेस ग्रो करेगा सो दैट ही कैन कंसिडर ऑन द रियल वर्क एंड नॉट वरी अबाउट कि मेरी रिपोर्ट नहीं आई, मेरा क्लेम सेटलमेंट नहीं हुआ. एंड आई डिड दैट, आई कीप रिमेंबरिंग in Pfizer we did and in idea also we did. If you have traveled 20 kilometers, गूगल मैप में हम उसको मैप करते थे, टैग करते थे.
Huh.
20 किलोमीटर ट्रेवल किया है, 20 किलोमीटर इंटू ₹4 पर किलोमीटर, ₹80 आपको आ जाएगा. यू डोंट हैव टू वरी, यू डोंट क्लेम फॉर इट.
Huh.
बट जस्ट इमेजिन इज बिगेस्ट इश्यू इन लाइफ वाज रात को 9 बजे बैठ के क्लेम स्टेटमेंट बनाना.
Right. Crazy,
अभी तो नहीं
hectic.
बनाना है. हाँ,
Huh.
हेक्टिक अभी नहीं बनाना है, तो उसको मालूम है मेरा आ जाएगा. So
Huh.
those are the things how you empower the sales guy so that he can sell better and
Correct.
perform. And if he has got only 8 hours, how you can utilize that 8 hours better.
Correct.
When he's sitting in
And
front
we
of the
should,
doctor, or sitting in front of your field, or talking to a seminar, whatever you're doing, how to
correct.
empower him to do that work.
And it should make sense to them that it is making their lives easier.
Much easier, yes. So
Super.
IT does that. I think over a period, this is how it is going to evolve. We are talking generative AI. How can I tell him ki, hey Siri, what was my sales yesterday?
Yeah.
And actually, Siri has got activated here. So, if I
Huh.
could give that, and that's what I was working, then it will be great, na? Ki,
Right.
what is my performance in this region? Is it falling or rising?
Right.
Those are the NL questions which are asking, and the people are responding. So you have
Right.
assistant which is available to you. What is my calendar looking like today? Ask that question, and everything is available at the press of a button,
Makes
or
sense.
not even press of a button, just at the top of your voice. So I think
Right.
that's where it is moving out. Generative AI is going to stay. Big data is going to stay here, and the more we realize and adopt it and figure out use cases, I think that's the many projects which fail because people don't look at the final how good looks like. If you
Correct.
don't have that picture made, then you will think of Mona Lisa, but you'll just make a circle and 4 lines. You won't make anything else.
Uh, good
How
example.
good looks like, you have to figure out how good looks like.
Right.
And their IT helps. Their IT will definitely help. So I think that's the crux of the matter.
Super, super. So I think we knew a little bit about yourself, basis your LinkedIn profile, but it was an amazing experience to delve into every function of the company
Thank you.
and different use cases that you've mentioned. I think the one thing I really liked out of this podcast is number one, your agility and being on the ground, experiencing the problem yourselves, and then finding a solution. And the second thing, the way you remember the use cases so well tells me that you have experienced these problems by heart. You have been there, you have been there with people who are facing these challenges, and you were among the people who were solving those challenges. So that's just crazy. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us
you.
today. Do
Thank you very
you
much.
want anything to say?
No, I think it was nice talking to you and reminiscing about my life experiences. And I always like telling stories. So I think I got a
Yeah.
chance to tell my story. And that's
Huh.
thankful to you. Thanks to you. Thanks to you. Thank you very much.
Super. I think I'd end this session by mentioning it once again. We are Madwin Mavericks, powered by Orain Consulting, which incepted in 2009. It has established itself as a trusted partner for organizations worldwide, specializing in SAP S4 HANA cloud solutions and cutting edge digital innovations. It continues to empower businesses through their deep expertise in SAP and digital transformation. Stay tuned to hear more about their incredible journey and insights into the future of business innovation. Thank you for joining so much and look you in the next podcast.
Thank you very much.